Dr. Venkat Balsubramaniam, Dr. Ponde, Dr. Sant, Dr. Nafade and Dr. Mutha, all the enthusiastic delegates of this conference. I see many familiar faces amongst the delegates. I am really very happy to see that enthusiasm amongst the delegates. Now this is the first conference. We have many conferences in this auditorium, but probably this is the first conference where we have not sent any reminders, reminder 1, reminder 2 and so on and so forth. The organizers might have done this job. However, many times we make the people compulsory to attend the inaugural session. But here the enthusiasm has shown that the conferences of this kind must be arranged in future also. Now this auditorium can accommodate about 1,000 delegates. Just now Dr. Balsubramaniam said that next venue would be something different where the capacity of the auditorium would be about 1,500. Whenever your next term comes, we are planning to have auditorium of about 2,500 capacity. Please do consider us for the next conference whenever you feel like arranging. Now this particular floor of this building is primarily constructed for having this type of conferences. There are many offers for organizing some cultural and non-cultural activities, but so far we have never given this auditorium for this type of activities, and we are very liberal to offer this facility for academic purposes, and we don't charge any rent for this. As Dr. Balsubramaniam mentioned that this hospital is totally free. One more additional information I would like to share with you. Now, the servants or the class 4, class 3 people working in this hospital, they don't accept any tip. Howsoever you try, they will not accept any favors, any gift, any tips in this hospital. They work wholeheartedly, and even then they don't express that they are doing some favor to the patients. This type of culture we have been able to develop here. Now in this type of conferences, we try to train our hands, we try to train our brains. But I want to share with you, I also definitely like to work behind the curtain. Let us work, let people say something about our work. So also, you people are also working behind the curtains. But particularly, anesthesiologists play a very crucial role in some of the institutions. They are in charges of intensive care units. We are definitely developing skills, technology and so on. But some element of negligence towards patient is seen amongst the so-called corporate hospitals. The center of our activities is patient. We do all sort of procedures and so on these patients, try to remove the agony of the patients. But as we are giving everything free, I think we have got little right to suggest one thing. You can suggest, if you are the owner of the hospitals, you can think yourself. If you are working somewhere in some corporate hospitals, we should try to reduce the cost of the treatment, particularly intensive cardiac care units, intensive units and trauma centers and so on. This I am telling because every time, every day I get phone calls from VIPs, politicians and so on and so forth to accommodate patients in our intensive care units. The reason being they can't afford the treatment outside. So we should be a little concerned about the cost of the treatment. we should convince our management to take care of patients' pocket also. I have been working for last 6 years to cut the cost of the recurring cost of the hospitals, and we have successfully done it. When I joined here, the recurring cost was about 1 crore plus per month. But now I can tell you with little pride that we have reduced the cost without compromising with the quality to about 40 lakhs per month. So my humble request to you is to try to convince the management of the corporate hospitals to take care of the patient's pocket also. Otherwise, you try to reduce the agony, physical agony of the patient, and just to enter into the penniless life in future. I hope this particular concept will be kept in mind when you leave this place. We don't tell the young patients, we don't even tell that we have given you free treatment and that you should remember us for this particular thing. We definitely want to introduce a concept that we can definitely take care of the patient without doing compromise in quality. Initially, our hospital was running in losses to the tune of about 75 to 80 crores a year. Now, the losses are reduced to about, say, 35 to 40 crores with good practices, taking into account all the possible methods to reduce the cost of the maintenance of the hospital. Initially, we were using some costly solutions for cleaning the floor. Now we are just using simple soap and water, and so on. There are many other methods. If you are really interested, I am really willing to help you all how to reduce the recurring expenses of the hospital. I have been very hardly working on this so that somebody can pick up the idea and try to reduce the cost even in the corporate hospitals. Now, anesthesiology definitely play a very important role. Though we are all working behind the curtain, we are the people who can very positively convince the surgeons, we can positively convince the management of the hospital. With this brief note, I would like to thank the organizers for calling me here to say something. Normally, I don't like to speak or address the audience, but this particular pleasant job has come to me because our President, Professor Nole, could not come for this function, and I had to play this role. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bhore, for speaking a few words. And Dr. Sandeep Mutha will give the vote of thanks.
Respected Chief Guest, Dr. Bhore, Dr. Nafde, Dr. Sant, Dr. Balavenkat, Rushali Ponde, and all the other dignitaries who are present in this hall. This academic extravaganza, AORA India 2013 in Pune, was made successful because of all the regional analgesia enthusiasts who have taken part in this. I am grateful to Professor M.N. Navle, the founder president of Sega Technical Institutes and SKNMC, for allowing us to take this mega event in this hospital. I also thank Sir for gracing. He could not make it for as a chief guest, but I still thank him for allowing us to take this event in this hospital. I also would like to thank Dr. A.V. Bhore, the Dean of SKNMC, for all his support and guidance for smooth conduct of AORA. He was an immense help. Means we were in a total jam of how to arrange the cadavers for the cadaveric workshop. But he was the one who gave us light, he gave us the way how to arrange it, and instead of getting one, we got 3 cadavers. Thank you, sir. Without support of Dr. Nafde, Dr. Ajit Bhaviskar, Dr. Mrs. Thomre, and the entire anesthesia department of SKNMC, it was impossible to conduct this program. I would like to thank the national and the international, local and the international faculty who has come here to grace this occasion. I would also like to thank all the sponsors, Neon, Asmira, Troika, Sonosite, GE, Philips and rest all for their support. I would also like to thank Mr. Amit Swamy and Flavors India for teasing our taste buds with the delicious food which they serve today. At the last, I again would like to thank everybody of you to be patient. After all this hard workshops which have taken place and the live relay which is going on, you are still here to grace the occasion. Thank you.
We will now be playing the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नाम जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे